What is up, everybody? I'm Ant. I'm joined by my friend and co-host. Introduce yourself, sir.
Tyler Peters, it's always a pleasure to join you, Ant, and let's talk about some SmackDown. Are you ready?
Are you ready for Smacky Down? Yeah, I'm
I
ready.
am.
I'm very ready. And wow, and my mic will go invisible, just so you guys know, because unless I do, I might have to hold it like this the entire
I think
time.
it's incredible that it's going to go invisible. I think it's all part of Bray Wyatt's scheme that
Yeah,
the
Bray.
mic is going to vanish while we're, reviewing SmackDown. He's featured on that program. Why not?
Yeah,
It's part of
Bray.
this possible faction he's got.
He's making a comeback, guys. Bray freaking Wyatt. So. Again, I'm Ant. Tyler's here, and we're the Uncensored Wrestling Podcast. And I'm covering WWE. We are covering WWE Friday Night SmackDown,
We are.
October 21st, 2022. And I got here on this, so I'm trying
Yeah, be
to.
careful. I don't know how the hair factors in.
I just
Watch out
probably made
for
mad noise. Was that loud?
bacteria, toxins.
Um, so uh before we go on, I want to say thank you for checking us out. For listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you're listening to us. Thank you for checking us out. But you could also check us out live on YouTube. Just search Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, and then you can see our beautiful faces.
You
Why?
can, and come on, who doesn't want to see these faces? I mean, really, does it even have to be a question? See, I can't model like that. That's my problem. See, he's got it down, and it's got the right stuff. Hey, new kids on the
Oh,
block.
oh, ooh,
Yeah, exactly.
right stuff. I do, but that's cool. So does Tyler. So yeah,
Oh,
so
well,
we're
thank
here to
you.
cover Friday Night SmackDown again, October 21st, and we started out the night with a match. Triple H has been booking these matches early on for us here, and I'm
He
holding the
has.
microphone really weird, so don't mind me.
Don't worry about it. I
No,
think it's good to
where
change
I
up things.
weird with this microphone. Okay,
The cords want to run away from
the
it.
core is running away. I'm running away. It's fine. Okay, so Sheamus is out there with the Brawling Brutes to take on Solo Sokoa with the Usos and Sami Zayn, aka the Bloodline. Before the match starts, though, we do get a clip of Bray Wyatt, and it says, "We're here." Very interesting.
It was great. I love these little teases that Bray Wyatt's doing. I agree.
Is there do you think that we should focus on the fact that's happening during this match, or do you think it's just all relative and it just happens when it happens?
I think it could be all relative, but you never know with the creative of WWE and with this whole Bray Wyatt story. It's
Mm.
all very telling. So I can't wait, man. My expectations for this, just like you and so many other fans, is off the charts right now. I love the possible directions they're going with this, the
Dude,
turns and twists, or twists and turns. There we go.
so much shit that's happening, man. So we'll cover quickly the moments from this match, and then we'll come back after our break and go over our thoughts. So Solo nails a spinning heel kick and then a running hip attack to Sheamus in the steps outside. Sheamus nails a running clothesline in the corner, and then a white noise. There it goes again. My microphone's gone. It gets a 2 count.
I love it.
It's awesome. And then Solo attacks Sheamus's arm and nails a Samoan drop off the top rope and gets a 2 count. Sheamus nails 16 blows to the chest and body of Solo Sokoa. Um, and then Sammy gets on the apron to distract Sheamus. And the Brawling Brutes and Usos fight outside. However, the Usos get the advantage and they push the announce table over on top of the Brutes. And Sammy ends up holding Sheamus's leg, and Solo nails a kick and spinning Solo to get the win. After the match, the Bloodline attack Sheamus, and they put Sheamus's arm in a chair, and then Jay nails the chair with many one. Welcome back. That is why you want to watch us live, so that when stuff goes wrong, you know what's happening.
It's must see podcasting.
Totally, we ran out of time with our I
Yeah, we
talk
did.
too much. Homeboy, you never shut up. I don't. Okay,
I
so
think you were terrific. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I think you're terrific too. So the end after the match, so Solo gets the win, and the basis is after the match, um, Jay slams many chair shots on Sheamus's arm, which is trapped in a chair. So what do you think about the bloodline being dominant against Sheamus tonight?
I don't mind the bloodline being dominant because Sheamus, to me, is one of those guys that can punish you. I think with him and Solo, it's a good physical contest. And I like the story they were telling, how they were focusing on his shoulder, I believe it was, taking him out. And it gives each faction some new opponents, with talking about the Brawling Brutes and the Bloodline. So I'm fine with it. I think you can take this rivalry to the next level. So I enjoyed it.
I did too. You're right. I didn't even think about potential tag team matches down the line that the Brutes and the Usos can have. Because I'm a big New
Right.
Day fan, but and listen, New Day and Usos, they always make magic when they're together. But I can go for not seeing a tag team match with them
I
for a
think
little
you
bit.
can get too much going at one time, meaning it's repetitive. And unfortunately, to me, you're going to lose the audience a little bit. So you got to change it up and strike while the iron's hot, as they say. And I think that's the two factions we're referencing here with the Brawling Brutes and the Usos. It just gives each of them something new, something fresh.
Yeah, totally, 100%, my man. And I think this is gonna be a continuation, especially now that Jay has injured Sheamus. It's gonna go
Correct.
down, down, down,
Oh,
baby.
it's getting personal. It's getting real.
Yes. Okay, next we see Rey Mysterio arriving backstage, and Imperium show up and they basically talk shit to him. And Rey says that he doesn't appreciate being disrespected, but if one of you want to fight me, let's do it tonight in the ring. And Ludwig Kaiser agrees. So that will
I
be a
think that was
match.
a fun segment, just a good way to set up a match. You explain it, so I don't need to add too much to it, but I think it'll be nice for Ray to be on SmackDown. And I'm a huge fan, like so many, of Imperium, of those two
Oh yeah,
guys.
they're killing it, and I'm a big fan of Rey Mysterio too, like you. So we're in for a good match. Um, excuse me. This is a good segment. Bray Wyatt is backstage, and Bray says, um, I used to say revenge is confession of pain. I have problems. I always have. And Bray says there are a few like anger. He says I get chances. This time I was content with being left alone. Um, He says, I'm glad you didn't leave me alone, though. I needed all of you. I know who you are and what you're trying to do. I will do horrible things, but I'll never apologize. I'm just a servant now. I go where the circle takes me. Um, and I could be wrong, but I think during that promo we get a QR code, and it's a
I think so.
it. Did you get a chance to see it?
I saw the promo. Now I think I may have missed the code.
So the
It's
code is
amazing to me that I am
yeah.
not discovering the codes.
The
But
codes
I
keep
saw the
popping up.
promo. I watched the show.
I'm like Detective Inspector Gadget. I'm all, where are they? No, but this particular code was a picture of almost like an a patient intake form, and it said it had Bray Wyatt's name, but he didn't agree to it, and basically it's just that he was a patient somewhere,
Wait,
and
now I did get to
yeah,
see that after all. Now
yeah,
that you
that's what
explain
it
it.
was. Yeah, and did this? Did we get a chance to see I have to look at my notes quick
No,
because
you're
this,
okay. I mean, it's a good reference.
yep, we do
I'm
see that.
glad
Okay.
you found all
Nope,
these
I was
details.
wrong. I was wrong. I jumped ahead. The QR code happens, but it happens later on, not in this segment because
But
there's
it
a
all
whole other,
correlates.
it all correlates. Um, okay. So what do you think about that? Specifically the moment where he says, I'm just a servant now. I go where the circle takes me.
I
What
think
does that mean?
it's riveting. That's the thing. I don't know what it means, but it's got me engaged. It's got me invested. I know we use these words so much, but it's so appropriate. It's so true. when speaking of Bray Wyatt, the guy just has a way to articulate himself with these promos and these cryptic messages that are so secretive, and finding out, maybe who's possibly part of this faction. If he is going to have a faction, whether he's facing multiple personalities, I think this is going to be some just incredible storytelling. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter already, and we're already seeing the first chapter. I don't think it's been written yet.
If you could earn $1 million by answering this question,
I can be a millionaire.
you could be a millionaire. All you have to do is get this question right. No, but what do you think he means? Like, what is the circle? Do you think he means in his mind? And I'm calling just for future reference so everybody knows. I don't know if I've told you this, Tyler, but so there's Bray Wyatt, and then we see the Bray Wyatt with that mask, though. I
Mm-hmm.
called the mask the shape, kind of like in Halloween.
Michael
Like
Myers.
that's just my way of going about the differences. Do you think the end of the day the circle has to do with the shape, or is like what if you could have $1 million? Someone says to you, Tyler, what is this storyline going to be? What is it? What is this? What is going on?
I like your theory. I also hope it does have other members, though, because even if you do, if it's the scenario, let me back up, where it's Bray against just Bray, you could still add layers of a group. You could have multiple storylines as long as they're logically, related to the pattern that they're laying out, meaning the planning, the strategy. I want to see more of the Wyatt saga unfold. That's just another term for story. I can't wait to see what they're going to be planning next. That's why I said I don't think the beginning chapter is finished yet. That's why there's going to be multiple chapters, like you read a book or an article. It's just what they can do with it. The way it evolves is just mind blowing to me. I'm already just I'm wondering, just like you and so many others, and have my own theories or own ideas. But how are they going to tie together? I think the mystery is what makes it wonderful to me.
Yeah, it's gonna be there. Well, hello, SmackDown sign. It's gonna be
Yeah, that SmackDown sign will get you. That's no mystery.
I don't know why. I'm so tired today, y'all. I've been yawning all day. Not good.
You're
Okay.
fine. Hey, it's real life for a human. Hey, yawning is contagious. I might yawn here in a little bit.
Well, that'll be good, and I'll be here to support you. So,
Well, thank you.
speaking of support, the Bloodline are backstage and they're happy. They brag about breaking Sheamus's arm, and Sammy says, "You've been a gem for the Bloodline Solo. You sent a message to the entire locker room." Then Jay says, "As soon as Paul gets home, or as soon as Logan Paul gets here, we're gonna take care of him." Sammy says, "But Roman said not to get involved. It wouldn't be very oozy." And Jay says, "I'm a hothead. We'll have to see what really happens tonight when Logan gets here." Now, before we talk about Logan, I have a feeling, and I watched the bump when Solo
Okay.
Sikoa came on. I watched this. I have a feeling like they're trying to tease Solo might wants the Universal title because he came out at on the bump and he was looking around at all the titles. Just you
Making
have
somebody think he's wanting to be a champion of some sort.
he's doesn't really he also made it known that for 20 years he didn't see Roman Reigns.
And that was interesting. I did not even realize that history, because we all know and have heard and can tell it played out on television how the real life bond is between Jimmy and Jey Uso with Roman Reigns, but not with Solo, though.
hmm and I don't think you would bring that up without there being a reason to, like I don't see why Solo would just
Could
randomly
they
like,
be
yeah.
causing an issue?
Well,
A
I think that's what
rift
they're
in the
trying.
family?
I think they're trying to do that. I think what's going to end up happening in my eyes is Sammy's going to keep putting in Solo's head like you're the reason why Roman's champion, and Solo might just be like, you know what? Well, then I should be champion. Like,
Think of it this way. You brought up a just great observation. Sami Zayn aligns with Solo,
hmm
and they break away from the bloodline because you still got the Usos with Heyman and Roman. and they could even
Good.
add more members or just have the two would work.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
that's something.
yeah, I mean, you just never know. I mean, it's just all brainstorming, but you brought up a fascinating aspect
Because
to
it's
what
just
you could do.
weird. And then also, like, when he's talking to Solo as if like he's trying to like pump him up.
He's
And it's
motivating
like,
it.
what's next, right? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
on SmackDown, the only other title is what, the Intercontinental title.
I think so.
And I'm sure Solo, as much as he would probably like to be champion, he probably want to deal with Gunther right now.
Now,
So,
Gunther's a little bit aggravated with Ray right now.
yeah.
Mysterio, for the listeners who might not know.
Yes. So I we'll see, but I do just like the idea that the judgment that not Judgment Day, I'm sorry, that the Bloodline are kind of having the cracks a little bit. Jay's like, listen, you can't tell me what to do. You're supposed to control me, but when Logan Paul gets here, we'll see what happens.
It builds up our anticipation so much the way they're having Sammy be the guy that can be of reason to the
Hmm.
hothead, you know, Jay Uso, because Jay lets his emotions, his temper get the best of him, and that's why I love how you break this stuff down, and I learned so much from you, and
Thank
I
you.
think it's a great partnership. I mean, I just make the hot tag to you. You come in and clean house, and then I'll just rest on the corner and cheer you on.
Dude, and then I make the hot tag to you, and then I get to just rest in the corner
There
and
you
chill.
go, and then I
It's
can
a
beat down and isolate the opponents.
We're like it's like my dismissal team, the dismissal force. We're like the team. Okay, so speaking of cleaning house, hot tags, Liv Morgan
Good
comes out,
segues.
yeah, to take on Sonya Deville. And we know last week she attacked Sonya backstage. Liv's character has been kind of this sort of like snappy character lately. And the match starts. Liv nails a backstabber. Sonya then rams Liv's head into the ring post many times. And as this is going on, Liv laughs and smiles. Liv blows at Sonya and then nails a huge kick. Blows. That's funny. Um,
That is comical.
Liv nails an enziguri and a running knee in the corner. Liv then calls on Sonya Deville to hit her. Sonya then nails a knee and gets a 2 count. Again, Liv continues to smile. And Liv ends up sending Sonya Deville into the announce table and apron. The ring steps, and there's a double count out, no winner. However, after the match, Liv grabs a steel chair and many others. She stacks them up in the ring, and she nails a superplex of Sonya Deville onto the steel chairs, and then Liv laughs. Now, I heard that the last situation where Liv was interviewed, I think it was after Extreme Rules, her character, she kind of was confused on Twitter. She was like, "What is that? What is that? What is that?" That was making it as if she didn't understand
Making
what's
you
going on.
guess what
Yeah,
her motives are.
yeah. Do we think this is a sort of like Bray Wyatt? No, I don't want to say Bray Wyatt. I know, obviously, hot topic. Everyone at this point, everyone's gonna be a part of the club, a part of the Wyatt family. But
Everybody wants in.
everybody wants in. But this character is slightly off, right? I mean, this isn't a Liv that we know. She's willing to do whatever it takes. She has these little snappy moments. What do you think?
For me, Liv needs this because the babyface gimmick is not working. So I think she needs this modification where she's a little bit coming from left field. She's still got sense about her, but you never know what she's going to do, what to expect. Like coming from that bump off the table on the Sonya. And I think it's good for both of them. Speaking of Deville and Liv Morgan, and also seeing that spot you just referenced and mentioned about the superplex to the steel chairs afterwards,
Yeah.
it just creates a little something else that we're not always sure is going to take place. And I think that can be used in her favor. And I think Liv needs some kind of character change. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe not completely heel. Maybe she can be a tweener. But to me, I'd like to see her full on villain because
I
she's
want
a.
to see. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No. That's all I was going to add. You're fine. That's all I was going to say. I think maybe they are starting to push the envelope. I'd like to see how much farther they could go with it because I think this is the Liv Morgan I want to see. It makes me become more of a fan of her.
Yeah, I mean, no one really likes. I hate to say it, but like we just people. I'm sorry, humans. and maybe it's like different generations, but like we kind of vote for the anti-hero, right? Like we kind of vote for the
Oh, we
one
do. I mean,
who,
the Attitude
right?
Years era podcast of yours, we
Yeah,
discuss it. Everybody loves the Stone Cold Steve Austin's, the
yeah.
Degeneration X, the Nation of Domination, all those factions. And what were they? They were more anti-heroes. It was a unique time.
And I think we're kind of like the fans are still in that stage at least where they kind of want that to happen. But I do wish that we did get more airtime for the other women
I
and
do
for
too.
other people because we're only seeing aside from Bailey, we're only seeing a
That's
couple
a
of them.
problem. We've discussed this so much. I don't want to
Yep.
get tired of it, but
Yep.
it's true. And as much as I respect Bailey and Damage Control, and we're going to see them compete, I know you're going to break that all down for us in a match coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, I hate to see certain matches get time and others not. I
Yeah.
don't think, I think that's what's hurting the other underneath talent for the women's roster. And I say that respectively because it's not necessarily a criticism, it's just something everyone notices.
Yeah, and I think like if they had other storylines and the whole thing wasn't just okay, like yeah, this Liv storyline's cool, whatever. But like on Raw, the only women's storyline on there is Damage Control. There are a bunch of other women on there that they're just not.
They're getting lost in the shuffle because it's all Damage Control. And I know you'll talk about that on your
No.
Raw review,
And
but
again, I listen. I'm not hating because I am happy to see Damage Control. I do like them as a group, but I just wish that there was other storylines going on. Um,
me as well. I think it's a shame we're not getting other angles, which is
yeah,
another way of saying storylines. Just
yeah,
creating more interest in other ladies. I mean, Lacey Evans to me is, I mean, that's someone else that I hate it for because she got a opportunity against Liv, but unfortunately, because I understand they have to push Liv, some of these other competitors kind
yeah.
of get take a back seat, and
I
Lacey
think
Evans is a good
Lacey
example.
should go to NXT and kill it down there for a
Maybe she should, because
make a name for herself again down there, take over, and then come back. I mean, because I just feel like these people, it's like if you don't make it up there, then go down to NXT, kill it down there,
it's
and then
helped
come back.
Mandy Rose. Apollo
Yeah,
Crews is down
yeah,
there. I mean, hey, why not? A lot of people think of it as a demotion, not necessarily, because then you get more of the promotion, like you're speaking about when you're called back up to the main
yeah.
roster.
I mean, that's just my thought, but okay, let's move on. Um, we get a promo for the Viking Raiders again. I think it's Sarah Rowe
It's
there.
got
I'm
to be Sarah
happy.
Logan. Let's just get
She's
the name out
awesome.
now. It's got to be Sarah Logan. She's
It's
got to
gotta
be
be
coming back.
Sarah. It's
Yeah.
her. Um, Hopefully, I think it will be her. Next we then have Braun Strowman. He walks out to the ring. Braun says, "I'm not someone who's easy to miss, and I'm not hard to find. Bring out Omos so he can look at a real monster." Right? MVP comes out, and MVP says, "Let me make this clear. You are a monster of men. I'm." He says, "I'm sure you've always been the biggest and the strongest." Until last week, until you found yourself near a literal giant named Omos. MVP says the WWE universe believes you're the monster of all monsters. Once they see you face to face with the literal giant, you will be exposed. And Braun says, "Well, tell your giant to try it at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view." And Braun says, "Since Omos didn't show up, maybe you and I." And then MVP says, "I never said Omos wasn't here." Omos comes out. Omos and Braun stand face to face, and Omos pushes Braun Strowman to the outside of the ring, and he leaves. Now, before we talk about this, I will say I'm sure you and I are both not going to be happy about this, which I know I'm not. But one fact that I learned is that I guess a video was posted on YouTube of a recent house show match of Braun versus
I did
Omos,
catch that.
and it got like a million
I didn't get
views,
to
right?
watch it.
I didn't watch it
Wow.
either, but I'm surprised that many people were
Yeah, that was a
interested in.
lot of views.
I
It
mean,
did.
maybe I listen. I'm sorry, Omos has just been beating up jobbers week after week. Um, Maybe the fans are interested because they're two big guys. I don't know, but Tyler, what are your thoughts about pretty much the match is made for Crown Jewel, Braun Strowman versus Omos. Omos was able to overpower Braun tonight. What do you think?
It's going back to the old Andre the Giant formula. and
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Andre.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of difference between him, with all due respect to Omos and Braun Strowman, because we're talking Andre the Giant, part of me, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm not very excited about the Crown Jewel matchup, but it is very interesting to your point about the house show match getting that many viewers tuning in, because I think it is. It's that attraction. I'll just go back to that word too. These giant
Traction. Good
men
word.
and everything. And for me, there's not really a great worker, but if I've got to pick, it's got to be Braun due to experience and what he can. I'm
Mhm.
sure he's going to be the guy to carry, is what I was getting at with
But here's my
Omos.
question though, because I
All
thought
right.
that before, but Omos is just uncarryable. I feel like no matter who he is with, he's just like walking death. Like the guy has no stamina. He can't run the ropes. He goes, "Oh," like I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but like all he does
He's
is
dull.
scream. And yes, he's dull. He's been around since for 2 years at this point, and he hasn't done shit.
He
And
needs the training center. He needs
yeah,
NXT bad.
something like, and I understand that they want to do, like you said, the attraction, giant versus giant, which monster is the biggest monster. They're doing it for Saudi Arabia. I get it. But then after that, be done with this, because Omar just needs to really either just become a sideshow free character, laughable character. He's like a Vladimir Kozlov, like dominant
That's
looking
a good
dude,
comparison.
but like can't, but is boring as fuck.
Well, and he doesn't understand the psychology either. That's where
No,
Brian at least will make the facials and body
yeah.
language and the way his movements are. That's something Omos is lacking, and
But
that
I
doesn't
will
help.
say, here's what I will say though to that though, Tyler. Here's the only thing I will say in defense of Omos. I don't mind that so much because he's a big fucking dude. Like if he
Well,
runs into
that's
the road,
fair.
he's not gonna get that hurt. But what I don't like about him is that same thing, like you said. You can't. It's not believable if the guy just looks unbeatable. Like you can't. He just doesn't look beatable in my eyes because he's a big dude. Now he's not fast enough,
Hmm.
but if you're having a street fight and you have Omos out there with AJ, no offense, it's not because of AJ's size. I'm a short dude. It's not because of that. I'm just
Yeah, me
thinking
as well.
wrestler that I like. I like AJ or John Cena. John Cena's tall. Omos, because of how big he is, he's probably going to overpower Cena. Now, I'm not saying that Cena won't be able to maybe get an upper hand, but Omos could knock you out. So when you see him lose and you see him get embarrassed and you see all that stupid stuff, you kind of just like, that's kind of corny because you don't believe it. So they're kind of bugging themselves in a corner here because they're making it like, well, one of them's not the true monster of WWE. And both of them have that gimmick, kind of. And
Could
then it's
be.
like, if you're not the main monster, then what are you? So, but
Well,
we'll,
no, the only thing I was going to
yeah,
insert there is Andre would at least sell, and even the Big Show. They were giants, but those guys,
you're
and I
right.
mean, you could put Kane, Undertaker up there. They're both tall. All of those guys are tall. But that's some good analogies. You made me think of it.
I
And
think my problem is I literally fast forward every one of his matches, so I don't even get to see like what he does. So I don't know. I'm just
well,
assuming.
his move set doesn't need to do a whole lot, and it's limited because he's just facing, like, I think they had four guys for
Oh
him
yeah,
on
like
Raw.
four or
Because
five
I
dudes.
just now watched Raw today. I know we're talking SmackDown, but he's in that program with Braun, who's on Friday night shows. So it all kind of segues and transitions to
Oh
it.
yeah, totally. I haven't finished Raw. Um,
Yeah.
I saw that though. I saw he fought like five
Oh,
people. And
thank
I'm like,
God.
oh no, you didn't ruin it. No, and I didn't care.
I
I
would have
fast
felt
forwarded it.
bad because
No,
I normally not like that, but I got a little ahead of myself
no,
there.
it's Omos versus Sly and the Family Stone on Raw.
That's
Okay.
it. That's who that was. Okay.
So we then come back from commercial break, and Drew McIntyre is being interviewed backstage. And Drew says, at Extreme Rules, Karrion Cross pushed me past my breaking point. He says, if Karrion Cross and Drew McIntyre, um, wait, he says, oh, if, wait, what? He basically says, like, if Karrion Cross gets in the way, there will be severe consequences. We agree that this ends at Crown Jewel in a steel cage match. So basically, Drew McIntyre is plugging the fact that he and Karrion Cross are going to fight at Crown Jewel Steel Cage. I said this to Carlos. I said they're gonna say, can Drew beat or can Cross beat Drew without the help of Scarlett? We'll find out, Crown Jewel. Do you think this is a smart match?
I think it is because Scarlett interfered, and you've got to give her an obstacle, and this way it makes the match fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very compelling how they do this, though, without her trying something, knowing how Cross and her their game plan. But knowing Drew, he's always ready for the challenge. So I've actually enjoyed the rivalry, but Karen Cross is so new. I'm hoping Drew can at least get a win back.
Yeah, maybe a win in this match because it would make sense because he could win because Scarlett's not getting involved. Whereas if Scarlett, I mean, granted, she probably will. We'll see her in that ring.
That's what I'm almost wondering.
But
They'll find someone.
again, wait, we might not though, because to be fair, no jokes aside, they're in Saudi Arabia and they don't normally.
True.
I
Yeah, they
mean,
don't
they
normally that
don't.
culture, and I'm not being whatever either, but it's different over there.
Yeah, and I mean, if she's not really a necessary asset to that match, they might not even have her come to the show because if she, I mean, she might come, but like they're not going to really have her do anything because she comes out barely, and close as it is. God forbid. So who knows? But don't be surprised if we don't see her because she might not go.
It would make history though, because like you said, in all seriousness and fairness, she doesn't have the way her outfit is
If
shows
she comes out, she'll be
quite a
covered.
bit.
She'll be
Yeah,
covered with
that's
like all
true.
her.
She may have to be covered, like Speaking of Lacey Evans, her and Natty had that match
Mhm.
where they were more covered
Or
than.
even this year, Lita and Becky
Yeah,
Lynch at Extreme at Elimination Chamber.
and that was a great match. Yeah,
Speaking of Elimination Chamber, fun information. I think they're coming back to Canada for the first time in like 13 years. I heard Montreal.
you are correct, sir. Yeah, and
13,
a lot
wow.
of people are hyped for Sami Zayn. That's his hometown.
No Way Out 2003 was there. Was that the last time it was in Montreal? It might have been. No,
It,
if it's
it's
13 years, no, I'm bad at math. That's way over.
I'm not good at math either,
Oh
but
my
I would
God. That's
trust
way,
you.
I was looking at me like, yeah, I think that's like almost 20 years ago at this point. And I'm like,
I
yes,
can't even count back to 5 years ago,
2003.
much less 20 or 30.
Oh Lord. Well, all right, let's move on. Logan Paul arrives backstage. So cool. We get to see him. Next, we have the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on the line. The champions Damage Control with Bailey defending against this strange team, Raquel Rodriguez and Shotzi. Raquel's my girl, so
Yeah,
I'm happy to see her.
yeah, she's
Um,
talented.
so here are some notes. Shotzi nails a cannonball into the corner on Dakota Kai. Raquel tosses Dakota into EO outside, and then Raquel lifts up Shotzi and sends Shotzi onto both girls outside the ring, and Shotzi gets a 2 count. Shotzi nails an elbow to Dakota and gets a 2. EO hits a springboard dropkick to Shotzi, and then Rhea hits a fallaway slam to both members of Damage Control. EO nails a flying DDT from the top rope and gets a 2 count. Raquel nails a big clothesline. Raquel and Shotzi with a combo slam. However, Dakota breaks up the pin. And the end comes and Bailey gets on the apron, distracting the ref. And EO nails a moonsault. And the women's tag team champions Damage Control are still in control, obviously.
Oh, they
Didn't think
are.
they were going to lose this match. What did you think?
I thought it was a solid match, but we're seeing this too much.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get tired of it, even though I enjoy both teams. I like Raquel, I like Shotzi, and I also love Damage Control, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. And I love that moonsault. And Bailey interfering was perfect because if she's going to be out there, of course, she's going to have to be that factor. But I'll just say it was a pretty good match. I'm just growing a little bit tired, if I'm honest, of this
Yeah.
whole angle.
I'm excited for Raw because I think something I haven't seen the ending. I feel like something happens that might change things a little bit. So I'm excited for that.
It might.
And I'm excited to cover that because that'll be exciting. You got
And
me excited.
don't get me wrong, I'm glad they do need to defend the tag titles, the women. It's just some of the same people though,
Yeah, there's
unfortunately.
not enough teams either to go against at this point. Like, who are the tag
And
teams?
that's fair too because they don't have the depth.
It's like who's there. But okay. Speaking of someone that's there that we don't get to see often is the SmackDown Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. And she says, "I owe the WWE Universe nothing. I ripped the title off of Glitter Cinderella to spite the fans. I'll do an open challenge next week." So Ronda has an open challenge.
We're gonna
You
see
have
her
a
defend the title.
yes. Do you have a guess who it could be? $1 million. Who could it be?
I'm probably not going to get the $1 million. Do you think Charlotte's coming back?
Um, I don't know. I
Think
feel
it's
like
going to, or
go ahead.
somebody that's going to be
I
just
feel
a
like
surprise.
I think they're gonna do it like what they would do if they were smart, if they want her to come back, keep doing the open challenges and don't have her come back until like they're close to Survivor Series or something. And then when no one is like, all right,
Make it
obviously,
feel special.
and then because everybody thinks it's gonna be her tomorrow because she's been gone for a while. They were just in Charlotte for Raw. So I mean, who knows? Could be her. But I don't know. I kind of wish that they would do it without us knowing. That's when the best surprises are when
They're more effective because
like
if
they
we
should do,
know,
yeah, like they should do like Ronda versus like Carmella,
hey,
or
Carmella
versus
would be good. Now that's still a surprise return, even with
right.
one of your roster personnel,
And you
because
keep
Carmella's
every
been
week
gone.
you can keep doing that, like a Lacey who's been out for a minute.
There you go.
Um, even I was gonna say Dana Brooke, but no. Even bring up some NXT chicks, like have maybe
Because they're
Nikita
already, yeah, letting the SmackDown and Raw
Alba,
superstars go down to NXT. So why
yeah.
not? Yeah.
And then like a week or two before Survivor Series, if you want to do this, have Charlotte return. No real story there. Just hey, you beat me for the title. I want it back. And
Well,
then here
the
we go, Survivor
story's
Series.
written itself basically because
Yep,
they've had a history.
yep. But anyways, that's just my thought. We'll find out next week who ends up taking on
We shall.
Ronda. I'm excited though. Okay.
Yeah, me too.
This is a little sort of sneak preview to Halloween. Our Halloween episode's premiering on Monday, which is October 31st, Halloween, spooky, spooky.
Ooh, I'm
Uh,
scared already.
me too. So this is kind of, I think this is scary to me. The shape is what I call this new character of Bray Wyatt. Um, we see him, and there's a lot of weird faces
There is.
along.
It's straight out of a horror movie.
Oh, dude, it's creepy. And again, we talked about the QR code. And while this is happening, and then this is where it gets a little significant. The shape says you lie to the ones you love, right? And then we see the code. The code is the psychiatric intake form,
Yeah,
whatever,
exactly.
the psyche val. And then I thought this was a puppet. I didn't know what this was. Did
It
you
was very compelling, very scary, frightening. Like you were
but
saying,
did
all the
you see the
images.
hat? Did you see
I
that
did. It
part?
had like crowns on it,
It
like a
was
crown of thorns.
yes,
Yeah,
and it says howdy. Now, the only thing that I could think of, the hat kind of was similar to Undertaker's hat,
it
that brim
was.
kind.
Hmm.
And he, Bray Wyatt lost to Taker at WrestleMania. I don't know if that has any significance to anything, but howdy, what this is.
It's almost like he's a demented cowboy or
Oh
something.
my goodness, what is
Uncle Howdy.
happening? And they said, listen, when I was looking at a recap, they said it was a person. So it's not a puppet, it's a person under that
I've
hat.
heard now. I can't confirm this, but it may be one of the guys that used to be in Ring of Honor who played kind of a weird character. Maybe it's Vincent.
Oh,
Maybe
you're
that's who it
talking
could be.
about the dude that didn't wear the shoes in Impact, right?
It
He
might have
has like the
been.
bushy hair and the
Yeah,
long
he has the
hair.
long hair, and he
Yep.
played a lot of these
Okay.
characters. So I don't know. That's the rumors. Don't
It
don't
was
quote me on
weird,
that. Yeah,
creepy. But there's really not much to talk about, but it's very creepy, very compelling.
it did its job. Yeah, it achieved what you were talking about. It frightened people.
Sure did. Okay, well, we see another promo. We got a lot of promos here. Legado del Fantasma is backstage, and they're talking about their legacy starts by destroying Hit Row. And Hit Row watches backstage, and B Fab says, I have an idea. And I think we probably know what that's gonna be. We'll find out.
Yeah, this has been good between the two factions, Legado del Fantasma with Selena Vega, and then B-Fab and the whole Hit Row faction's been pretty clever so far.
They've been killing the game. I'm excited to see Zelina Vega fuck up B Fab. That's awesome.
That's what you're waiting for.
Zelina Vega, yes, sir. We have our next match, Ludwig Kaiser with Giovanni Vinci and the Intercontinental Champion Gunther taking on Rey Mysterio. Here are some notes here. Rey nails an Enziguri. Rey jumps off the top and is met with a right hand by Kaiser. Kaiser nails an uppercut outside, and Ray. What I noticed during this match was Ray has on like a Randy Savage inspired gear from like
He
WrestleMania 3.
does,
You notice
and
that? Wasn't that
yeah,
cool?
it took me a little bit to figure that out until I read it on like social media somewhere on the internet.
I was like, wow, WrestleMania 3. I was like into it. Cool.
Yeah, because who doesn't love the Macho Man, Randy
Dude, I
Savage?
love when they pay homage to the wrestlers. So Ray nails a lion saw. He gets a 2 count, and then a flying Hurricane Rana and another two. Ray Hurricane Rana's Ludwig to the outside. Ray then tosses a chair at Gunther, who ends up like dropping it,
I
and the
love
ref.
that part.
That was awesome. The ref thinks that Gunther hit Ray with it, so he kicks out Imperium, and then Ray nails a 619 and a drop of dime, and he gets the win. Rey Mysterio taking from his good friend Eddie's playbook, stealing the win. What'd you think?
I enjoyed the homage not only to Macho Man Randy Savage, but Eddie Guerrero, lie, cheat, and steal, getting all, Imperium, the other members disqualified so it can make it fair, even though they cheat too. And I thought it was a great match between Rey Mysterio and I love Kaiser. Anything Imperium does, it's awesome, man. So
Dude, I love this whole like the Imperium because they're just old school.
yeah, and you got to keep Mysterio strong to take on Gunther. And yeah, Imperium reminds you of that old school mentality. You're so correct. That's what I admire about him.
Killing the game. All right, I'm gonna try to get through this part. We'll see if I can. If not, stay with us. Logan Paul comes out and Logan says, "I know you doubt me. I've been doubted my whole life, but look where I am now. I'm confident in myself. I don't need a penguin talking for me. I don't need two guys who are the same brain. Solo, who's never alone, and I have no friends that look like Sami Zayn." Logan says, "I'm the underdog in this fight. What happens if I hit Roman so hard I bust his teeth in?" And it's a true statement. He could.
Yeah, he
Uh,
could.
Jay Uso then attacks Logan Paul from behind. He nails a super kick and a running hip attack. However, Sami Zayn comes out and yells at Jay to get out of the ring, and Jay turns right around to a huge right by Logan Paul, knocking out Jay Uso. Did Sammy distract Jay, or was that bound to happen? Quick thoughts. And Logan Paul looking on top.
That's probably bound to happen, knowing how Sami Zayn had to calm down Jey Uso and Logan Paul. He did get the right hand. He knocked him out. You had to give him the opportunity to get some revenge and look strong too, like with Mysterio against Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel. But the finish was interesting because I'm thinking he just got beat up. How did he just come up and hit him though? That was the only thing. But it is wrestling, so I had to remember that.
Um, okay, and then last question for you. What was your moment of the night?
Moment of the night has to do with Bray Wyatt.
Me
I
too.
have to say I can't help it. It's fascinating to me what they're telling in this story.
Awesome. Tyler, thank you for joining me. We're
Oh, you're
almost
so
out of
welcome.
time. Quick fact, SmackDown's gonna be live on FS1, Fox Sports One next
Yeah,
week.
because it's a
Not
World Series.
Yes, it won't be on Fox. Check out FS1. Thank you for tuning us out. You can find Tyler so many different spots. We'll let you know more with that in the description. Follow us, like, subscribe to the notification bell. We will
Do it.
with Monday Night Raw. Tyler, thank you for joining me. You
Oh,
rock.
I appreciate it, Ant. You too, buddy. You
Peace
rock.
out, everybody. Bye. Y'all.
Bye.